Chris here in Costa Rica. Early morning. Huh? Uh, Came up early this morning. Came outside. I wake up every morning between 3 and 4 o'clock religiously, no matter what time I go to sleep. And want to show y'all a sky rise. It's been very cloudy over the past few weeks, actually. Very little sunshine. Um, Let me see. Trying to get a good light source for me so y'all can see this mug of mine. All right, let me get to the point of the matter. I love Chinese people. I've been social meeting with a Chinese girl because I'm attracted to her. She's very beautiful, very nice. She lives in China. She's 100% Chinese. But what I've been studying and researching, and I've found out about our Washington establishment. They have been bought and sold uh, since World War II. Right after World War II, the Washington establishment was bought and sold by the corrupt, weak politicians and the military complex in the CIA. They control Washington, D.C., and every political influencer, lawmaker, just about 100% of them. Very few. But it's all pre planned. If you notice, the West Coast is always in the news with mudslides and fires. And over the past few years, under the Biden administration, it has turned into a homeless encampment. If you look up and down the West Coast, it's just a shithole. What what was once the most beautiful part of one of the most beautiful part of the United States? Very beautiful at one time. I remember driving from New Orleans all the way to Los Angeles in my old '69 Ford Falcon, sleeping at truck stops and on the side of the road and driving with my surfboard. I was going to the OP Pro contest, and I ended up staying over a month once I got there. That's how much I liked it. Worked at National Lumber in El Toro, in the plumbing electrical department to keep me alive while I was there. But what I've learned, if you realize, look at all the homelessness up and down the West Coast. Um, what caused it and why did it happen and why it isn't being fixed. You can send $80 billion to Ukraine so you can laundry it and get it kicked back to all the crooked politicians here, but yet you can't help our own people in this country with just a few dollars. Well, here's the reason why. Our Washington establishment, along with all the corrupt politicians that exist, my dentures broke and I had to glue them back together, and now you can see they're not fitting very well. Soon you'll see me with implants. I'm in the process of getting implants, and that's why I have to wear these dentures. Okay, back to the story. Nancy Pelosi, Newsom, Feinstein, Maxine Waters, all those pieces of shit, they have literally sold the West Coast along with the Washington establishment. They all got together and they sold our West Coast to China. And like I said, I have nothing against Chinese people. I hate my government politics, have been for many years. That's why I live in Costa Rica. I learned when I was 21 years old, I don't agree with my government. I love my country, I love my people, but not my government. So I left. I've been in Costa Rica for 44 years, on and off. I've been here for the last 20, haven't left. But what I've seen is that they sold our West Coast to China. Over the years, over the decades, they've been selling pieces of our West Coast to China. If you look at the population of Chinese people on the West Coast, there's an awful lot of Chinese people. I mean, a shitload from Vancouver all the way down to the Baja Peninsula. They're concentrated in certain areas, but they are plentiful. Now, you have that, and you've got all these wildfires and freaky weathers that we control. We have direct energy weapons. I mean, look what we did to Hawaii. If you didn't have a blue roof or a blue paint, you were fucking fried by that direct energy weapon. And they've been doing that for years. And, it's a self-inflicted wound, like the Twin Towers, 9/11. That was a self-inflicted wound. We all know that. But you never see homeless people in tents from China. I mean, drive from the Canada border all the way down to the Mexican border. Look at all the homeless encampments. Look at all the people living in the streets. You won't see no Chinese. What they're doing right now is they're evicting the squatters. The American people are now technically classified as squatting on China's land. And like any landowner, you got people squatting on your land, you're going to fucking kick them out. That's what you're supposed to do. So that's what they're doing to American people. And the politicians, Newsom, Pelosi, all of them are getting filthy rich watching our American citizens being pushed to the streets and then pushed to death, driven out of the West Coast. Why? Because it's not the West Coast of the United States of America. It's the Chinese farthest East Coast that they ever had. That's the truth. Deal with it, because we got to fix it. I'll make another video later. Have a great one.